sex is good, all right? But for the next, after Mother's Day, the 3 weeks after that, we're going to talk about how to make it more good, okay? In a spiritual and emotional kind of a way, all right? Because we don't want you in that situation, all right? And it may just be as simple as you need to give it a little more attention than 5 minutes between Jimmy Fallon and your melatonin pill. Maybe that's just a problem, okay? And so we're going to talk about that. And we're going to have books available for you. I guess I recommended them so highly that they sold out already, so we'll have them back again after Mother's Day. But we really believe that there's a reason for this, and we're going to give you books and we're going to give you help however we can to help sex be good, because we believe sex is good. But it's got to be God's way if it's going to be good. Here's what Jesus said. Therefore, everyone who hears these words of mine and puts them into practice is like the wise man who built his house on the rock. The rain came down, streams rose, the winds blew and beat against that house, yet it did not fall, because it had its foundation on the rock. But everyone who hears these words of mine and does not put them into practice is like the dumb guy who built his house on the sand, and the rains came, and the streams rose, and the winds blew and beat against the house, and it fell with a great crash, all right? The reason we're talking about this is because I'm the guy, we're the people that have to be around when the house falls with a great crash. We're the ones that have to be around to pick up the pieces and to help you with this. And I feel like if I can help you, if I can help you young people decide to build your house on the rock, if I can help you married people decide to build your house on the rock, if we can help this happen along the way, it's going to save us a lot of crash, okay? And the truth is, most adults walking in this room, if you took Jesus' definition of sexuality, every adult that's walked into this room has in some way built their house on the sand. So let's figure out how to build it on the rock. And the reason I'm calling this series Pure Sex is because I want you to understand that that's not an oxymoron. Sex is good, but it has to be God's way. It has to be done the way God wants us, because God's the one that created us. He knows how we work. He knows how he wanted it to be together. And if it's going to be good, it's going to be on the rock. So here's where we start. Are you ready? Pure sex is about being sexually pure. Meaning, we save ourselves for marriage, we stay married, and we're faithful in our marriage. I love it when you look at me like that. Like I have two heads. I get that, okay? It's okay, because if you disagree with that, if you think I'm full of it, you know what? Come back for the next month, because I'm going to talk about stuff that's going to make you happy. But today, I may need to feel like a preacher in Alabama in the 1850s talking about how bad slavery is, okay? Because the rest of the culture around us does not agree with what I just said. But again, that's the sand. You got to decide, is it going to be the sand or is it going to be the rock? That's where you have to go with this. Our culture says, oh, no, sexuality is just another body function. It's just like eating or breathing. It's no big deal. God says, no, that's not true. That's a lie. That's sand. You're building your house on the sand. God says, I want sex to be in marriage, and I want it to be for a lifetime. That's how I want this to be all together. Do you understand this? Andy Stanley, one of my favorite preachers, wrote it this way. He said, sex outside of marriage complicates your life. Every time I've ever talked to anybody about sex outside of marriage, even for people for whom things were going well, when I finally got them down and we peeled back all the layers and the rationalization, they finally admit, yeah, it's complicated my life. Years ago, a young lady came to see me. She was a brand new Christian. She said, I've got 3 questions. First 2 were pretty tame. The third one was just about sex. She said, are all those things in the Bible about sex, are those just for teenagers? Or do they apply to me too? Because she was an older single. And she was serious. She wanted to get it right. I said, yeah, no, they apply to everybody. She said, so you're telling me at such and such an age, I'm supposed to be celibate, like not have sex? Andy said, yes, but let me ask you a question and be honest. Has sex outside of marriage ever made your life better and more fulfilled? Or has sex outside of marriage made your life more complicated? Please be honest. A big old tear came to her eye, and she said, no, it always makes my life more complicated.